Welcome everyone to another episode of Slasher Scotty. I am your host, Scotty McCoy, and boy, do I have a surprise for all of you. I have on Zoom with me right now, let me see if I pronounce this correctly, Dennis, is it Mallen?
Mallen.
Mallen,
Mallen, yes, sir.
Between the two. Dennis Mallen, and he played the New York City Councilman in Godzilla from 1998, and Jorge London in The Devil's Advocate. Hey, Dennis, how are you doing?
Doing great, my friend. Thank you so much for having me on tonight.
Not a problem.
Looking forward to this.
And me too. I know your manager reached out to me to have you on, and I was like, I would be more than happy to have him on my show.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you on. So the first question I got for you is, how did you get your start into acting?
Sure. Well, I've always wanted to be involved. My mother was a singer at Carnegie Hall way back in the day. So I wanted to get involved at an early age, 14, 15. But I literally came down to chickenpox junior year in high school. So that dashed that. Fast forward, I'm in Manhattan. I'm a young technology executive, and I'm also part of a fraternal organization. Well, I meet one of my best friends, one of my mentors, James Demonic. He used to teach at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts and Sciences. And Jimmy and I would get together every Friday night in Manhattan for an adult beverage, for a cigar. And I walk in kind of suited up, 3-piece suits and whatnot. And he'd always make, oh my God, look at this kid. You came from Central Casting. Look at this guy. Yeah, Jim. Okay. So then after about 3, 4, 5 times of kind of embarrassing me, I'm like, all right, what do I need to do? He goes, you want to get into it? Yeah, let's give it a try. So you need a headshot. Jimmy, what's a headshot? Call this guy. Whatever I needed, Jimmy had a guy.
Right.
I got a headshot. What now? You need to learn how to read copy. What's copy? Commercials. Every question I had, he already had it pre-planned, had a call, had a card. Who do I go learn read copy? Angela Montalbano, where New York Performance Works. Bang. She's one of my friends and mentors. And every step of the way, he already had it laid out.
Nice.
So it was hysterical. The first thing I ever did, Scotty, was Of Mice and Men.
Oh, nice.
Theater. It was tough, man. I was contracted to do about 10 different shows, and theater is tough. Now, I made the mistake of watching the great John Malkovich do my role a week before I went on stage. Never, ever, ever again. If I'm reprising someone's role, it's going to be my own interpretation.
Yep.
Well, I found out then and there that I'm a method actor, because I'm driving home, from Manhattan into New Jersey at the time. And I'm crying and I'm depressed and I'm losing weight and I can't sleep. I'm like, what is going on? And Jim's like, well, obviously you're a method actor. I'm like, Jim, I don't care what that means, dude. I'm out. So I quit Scotty for all of 2 weeks.
Okay.
Now at this time, I just got promoted to CEO of a .com back in the day. Okay. So I'm a senior executive, a senior technology executive. And with everything going on, I get a call for a China Airlines commercial. Okay. I get the script. I jump in. I go to the audition. I nailed the audition.
Nice.
I booked it. Okay. My first audition, booked a national commercial. I'm on set and I'm off book. I've got everything fully memorized. I'm good to go. Okay. So the director goes, okay, cut back to 1. I look at the PA, go, what does that even mean? Oh, we're going to do it again. Now, I give you this long story because stage work versus commercial, movies, it's night and day.
It is.
It's night and day. If my pants drop and I'm doing stage, I got to keep pushing through. My pants drop doing commercials, doing movies, cut back to 1. So it's night and day. It's night and day, man. So that's really how I got my start. And I've just been running ever since. You see, I learned early on that I'm an entrepreneur.
Nice.
Actors, you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You're 1099. You've got to take care of, you've got a successful podcast. You got to take care of you and your brand. The same thing with me. I got to manage me and my brand. So if you focus and treat it like a business, it's going to build, it's going to pay you like a business. It's going to build like a business. What's the Groucho Marx adage? I don't want to be part of a club that wants me as a member.
Yeah.
So that's, clubs don't pay.
Yeah.
Professions pay. profession.
Absolutely.
Okay? So
Absolutely. I have an appreciation for people that are in theater. I love watching theater. I can't perform as a theater person because I'm like an improv type of person. I like the
sure.
I don't mind memorizing lines and getting the plot down, but I can't remember everything and not stumble over my words and then have to, and if I mess up, it's like, oh, I gotta push forward. I can't say, oh crap, I did that. Like,
Exactly.
whereas if you're in
Exactly.
movie and film, it's like cut, let's do it, take two.
Cut back to one. And
Yep.
that's a funny thing. I did a movie, I guess guess about a month ago now, called Chances.
Okay.
Uh Pretty deep script. Oh my gosh, dude. Really, really deep script. And I'm working with a newbie. The guy was playing my kid.
Mhm.
I'm in prison. He's coming to visit me. And
Mhm.
it's such a dramatic script. Well, David, the kid, is worried about being off book. And I'm like, look, I'm going to give you enough energy.
Mhm.
We're going to work together. We're going to have so much time to run our lines. Don't worry about it. Let it go.
Mhm.
Don't let that be a detriment to you right now.
Right.
And we're on set. And I said to him, I go, look, you're either going to love me at the end of this, or you're going to want to beat the heck out of me. He goes, what are you talking about? I go, I'm going to antagonize you so much. I'm going
Mhm.
to give you so much to work from. I'm
Yeah.
either going to be your best friend or you're going to hate me once we're done. Well, we're best friends, of course. But you're 100% right. You're on stage. You can't say, oh, shoot, you got to keep pushing. You
Yep.
know, if
Yep.
I miss a line here, miss a line there, I'm either going to be allowed to improv a line or two,
Yep.
or we're going to go back to one. So that's
Exactly.
that's how it works.
Absolutely. So can you tell us a bit about your role in Godzilla?
Sure, sure. Well, Godzilla, literally. So here's the thing. It
Mhm.
was my second SAG feature. Okay.
Okay.
It's in Manhattan. It was shot on a weekend down on Wall Street. Down on
Okay.
Wall Street.
Nice.
So I've got the funny knack of being picked out of a crowd and being put in good positions.
Mhm.
So SAG feature, SAG extra, I get picked out of the crowd to be next to the mayor.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you watch it, and I just thought I was a stand-in for an A-lister. I stood in and it had so much of an angle. You
Right.
got to show the director something.
Right.
I've got this angle. I've got this opportunity. So
Mhm.
action. And I quickly came up with, who am I? You
Right.
quickly go through your mind. Who are you? What are you? What are you doing here? Well, I'm a councilman. So what am I doing? I'm waving to my constituents. I'm blowing kisses. I'm
Yep.
doing what a good council person should do, right? So here comes the mayor. Here comes, I forget the gentleman's name right now. Big star, big A-lister. He
Yep.
comes up and he's giving his speech. Now, a good person that has your back does what? I'm laughing at your dumb jokes.
Yep.
I'm motivating the crowd. I'm
Yep.
waving to everybody. I've got your back. They
Yep.
kept me in the entire scene. And I had so much of an angle. Scotty, you see a lot of me and I love it. And I
Yep.
really love it and just really
Awesome.
appreciative because how many millions of people have seen my ugly mug? you know, and it was such a
Absolutely.
fun film to make. It's when you're on set, you really build an affinity towards each other.
Right.
Whether you're on set for 2 hours, 2 days, 2 months,
Yep.
you walk away with so many friends and so many new relationships. You build your network. So, but
Absolutely.
that was fun. That was pretty fortuitous because I figured, hey, I'm going to be an extra. I'm going to hang out, maybe see Gerard Depardieu, maybe see
Yep.
Matthew Broderick. I don't know who I'm going to see, but
Yep.
I got picked out of a crowd. I got put on the steps
Mhm.
down in Wall Street and Broad, right down there, and you see my ugly mug. So that was
That's awesome.
that was a
So
ton of fun.
you obviously played Jorge London in The Devil's Advocate. So can you tell us a little bit about that role?
Sure, sure. I was a lawyer. Go
Mhm.
figure. Now that was my first movie working with Mr. Pacino, Keanu Reeves, Craig T. Nelson. Again, another extra role. It
Mhm.
was downtown New York City at the courthouse. And it was me and I don't know, about 500 different extras, it seemed. And
Mhm.
again, Scotty, I'm a brand new, I'm bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, I'm a kid, don't know left from right. I got
Right.
picked out of the crowd to not only have Mr. Pacino right off my shoulder, but
Mhm.
you see me in the big
Yeah.
courtroom scene.
Nice.
Well, I'm coming out, there's two exits from the
Yeah.
courthouse, from the courtroom. I'm coming out the far door. I
Mm.
pivot and I'm mugging the camera. I'm
Nice.
doing what you're told not to do. I'm looking in the camera and I'm walking into the camera.
Nice.
Okay. Out of the second door comes Al Pacino, Craig T. Nelson, Keanu Reeves. So
Right.
I am mugging the camera for at least 10 seconds. I'm walking right into the camera, and then Keanu Reeves and everybody busts in front of me.
That's so
And
awesome.
and I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna get cut. I'm gonna get cut. I'm gonna be admonished. I'm gonna get kicked off set. I'm not gonna make it off the cutting room floor. But when I saw it, now imagine seeing yourself on the big screen,
Hmm.
and you're like, there's something about that scene that's kind of ominous, right? Now, the whole story of Keanu Reeves, right, and Devil's Advocate, I saw the movie with my mother.
Hmm.
Now, I'm of the age of Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Keanu Reeves is what? Rosemary's Baby has grown up, and now
Yep.
he's a Manhattan lawyer.
Yep.
Okay. So here I am seeing it with my mother, and you see
Right.
yeah, I'm kind of mugging it, but it was so much fun. Taylor Hackford was the director,
Uh-huh.
big burly Viking guy. And he was married to Helen Mirren. I don't know if they're still together. They don't return my calls anymore. But so I'm sitting there, and there's two extras, next to me. And the scene goes on. He calls action. Now,
Right.
you can't sit there stoic. You have to have an intention. I'm in a
Right.
big courtroom scene. There's a
Yep.
big billionaire getting tried for murder. So I'm interacting. Taylor Hackford goes, cut, you, out. And he looks at me and goes, no, you're fine.
Right.
I felt my blood pressure go, boom, boom.
Wow.
I look over my shoulder. Who do I see? Mr. Pacino staring right at me. It's
Nice.
all right, son. You're fine. The voice of God, said, it's all right. Thank you, sir. And, it was just hysterical, man. It's just, I've had so many great experiences.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I worked with Mr. Pacino. I worked with him in Scent of a Woman, and I
Nice.
worked with him in The Irishman. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's good stuff.
So the next question I got for you, I'll
Yes, sir.
put the next two actually into one, but what do you believe is the biggest challenge in being an actor, and what do you believe is the easiest part of being an actor?
Sure. The biggest challenge for me is driving to set,
Yeah.
because I mean, I love to drive. I drive all over God's green earth. When I was up in the Northeast, one day I'm in Philadelphia, and next day I'm in Maine, I'm in Manhattan, I'm in New Jersey, I'm all over. I
Right.
love to drive. It's
Okay.
getting a little arduous though. Outside of that, I had a big table read yesterday, and the day before I met with the producer, and I love doing character development.
Right.
I love doing character development. This producer wanted me to read for two different characters and a judge,
Nice. Yeah.
two very different, both in the same system per se, but
Okay.
diametrically opposed.
Yeah.
I had such a backstory. They loved it.
Yeah.
So I had my intentions when I delivered it. So I tell Rebecca all the time, I need a helicopter.
Nice.
I need a helicopter. And she's like, well, how about a driver? A driver would be a good start, you know? But outside of that, no, I love what I do. I really do. I do a lot of character development, as I said, and I really get deep into the script.
Mhm.
I've got an interesting way of preparing, because I need to know how my part, whether it's a supporting role, a bit part, whether I've got the lead, how does my one or two lines, regardless of what it is, fit in and
Mhm.
have an impact on the entire movie?
Right.
So I read the whole script, page to page, all the way
Mhm.
through about 5, 6 times.
Nice.
Okay. Before I even do my character development.
Hmm.
And then I work on my character, and then I work on my lines. And
Okay.
if it's either a historical piece, or if
Mhm.
I'm playing a certain specialist or whatever it is, I do the research.
Okay.
I do the research, because I'd rather know the subtle nuances,
Hmm.
of what's needed for that role than not know. Because
Yeah.
my father, Dennis Sr., whenever Dad would watch a movie, he would pick it apart.
Yeah.
Oh, that car's in the wrong decade. He wouldn't hold it that way. He would hold it this way. Oh, that gun. Just the little subtle nuances my father would pick apart. and you're watching TV with him, and you're like, Dad, really? Oh, that's not, nobody cared. I'm like, so now I'm aware, and if I have a gun and I'm doing a Western, 1890s, whatnot, I want to make sure it's the proper weapon.
Right.
To make sure I'm holding it the proper way, drawing it the proper way. If
Mhm.
I'm riding a horse, am I holding the reins correctly? Little
Right.
things like that. I'm thinking, okay, Dad from heaven is going to be looking down and saying, no, you're doing it wrong. You got to. So I kind of go through that in my head,
Yep.
even being a lawyer, even
Yeah.
being a prisoner last month. So
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you have 25 plus years of experience as an actor. So if somebody is an aspiring actor that's watching this and they're
sure.
looking for advice on what they can do to get in to pursue their dreams as an actor, what would you tell them as advice?
Don't do it. Run. Stay in your job. Go the other way. No, I would. Now I do mentor different people.
Okay.
Okay. I maintain a pretty busy schedule.
Mhm.
Um, again, Rebecca is keeping me very busy, and I'm loving it.
Nice.
I'm so blessed, bro. I'm
Yeah.
tickled pink. Um, so when people come to me, I ask them, "What's your game plan? What do you mean? Well, how much do you want to make? Money? What? There's money to be made? Do you want to be an extra for the evil mouse? That's
Right.
fine. What do you want to do? Is this a part-time endeavor, or is this a passion project, or do you want to be part of a club?
Right.
What do you want to do? I've got very, very, very big goals, very lofty goals.
Right.
So I look at it very differently.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started out, Scotty,
Yep.
I was doing it from a part-time perspective.
Okay.
So if I'm going to invest an hour of my time, I
Mhm.
expect Y return.
Right.
You with me?
Yeah.
So my advice to anybody new coming in, know it's a business.
Yeah.
Act like a business. Put
Yeah.
together your business plan. Just
Mhm.
like if you're a widget maker, what's a widget? It doesn't matter. Put together your game plan. Put together
Mhm.
your goals, your affirmations, your mission.
Yep.
Very important. They don't teach that in high school, grammar school, or even college at times.
Yep.
But you need to have that put together because you need to be focused and push the ball forward every day.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? No part too big, no part too small.
Mhm.
Get in front of every camera, any camera, every chance you get.
Yes.
Build a network. Take the garbage rolls, take the free rolls, take whatever you can to build, build, build.
Yep.
And you got to be on set and you've got to be that guy, you got to be that gal, you got to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yep.
If the director puts you all the way out of frame, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
If it's a 2 o'clock in the morning shoot, do what you got to do
Yeah.
because it's like going to the gym,
Yeah.
right? We all work out, right? You work out, you walk in the gym day one, you sit in the bench press, you do 250.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't. You might. You're younger, better looking, and stronger than me. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
You've got to do your reps. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You've got to take the hits. You got to take the lumps. You have to audition for everything and anything that comes by you.
Yeah.
Never let anything go by. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there, really talented people that are sitting back waiting because somebody said, "Hey, I want to cast you in my multi-million-dollar film." Well, that's great. I'm in. Let me know.
Yeah.
But if I'm waiting for Godot,
Yeah.
right? I'm not paying my bills. I'm not
Exactly.
having any kind of lifestyle. And
Yeah.
I'm saying, this sucks. I'm out. So you've got to push the ball forward every day. And
Absolutely.
that's, I had a social media manager back in the day, and the person said to me, "You are by far the hardest working actor that I know." And I'm like, well, I'm pretty humble. I appreciate that. I just love what I do.
Awesome.
And when you fall in love with what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
Absolutely. Agreed completely. Agreed completely. So the last question I do got for you, do you have any other projects in the works that you would like to promote to the listening and viewing audience, as well as any social media accounts or websites to plug?
Sure, sure. Well, I've got a feature coming out. It's called Great People.
Okay.
Romello Blade wrote it, directed, produced it. Romello and his wife Victoria. I
Okay.
believe it was up in the Tribeca Film Festival.
Okay.
Now, funny story. The Florida community is pretty small.
Mhm.
You're going to see the same people time and time again. So you better have good relationships. You better not be that guy. You better just be a decent guy, right? So I'm up at an audition at Heather Hines up in Orlando.
Mhm.
I look over, I see my buddy Austin Janowski,
Okay.
great actor. I see my buddy Essex O'Brien, another great actor.
Right.
So I'm getting ready for my audition. They look at me and they're staring at me and they go, Madoff, Madoff. I'm like, Bernie, he's in jail or he's dead or whatever. No, we got a role for you. We got a role for you. I'm like,
Right.
all right, man. Hey, call me. Whatever, call me.
Right.
Literally the next day, I'm sitting at a coffee shop
Right.
in Winter Haven with a friend of mine.
Okay.
My phone rings. It's from Mellow Blade. Hey, you come highly recommended from Austin, from Essex. I want to give you this role in my movie. It's a lead role. I'm like, all right, well, my day rate is X. Well, that's great because I'm paying you Y. I go, well, my day rate's X. Well, we're paying Y. I'm like, well, can I read the script? Yeah, I'll email you a script right now. Great. Can we talk next week? He goes, no, I need you on set tomorrow.
Oof.
And I'm like, do I get a chance to read the script? Oh, tomorrow we're just going to improvise the scene. And I'm like, well, can you email me a contract? Yeah, we'll sign it all tomorrow. Well, what's wardrobe? We got your wardrobe taken. And I'm like, when you're baptized by fire, as they say, or something, you're standing at bat, you got this 1,000,000-mile-an-hour fastball coming at you. You can duck out of the way. You can try to take a swing at it. Well, I took a swing at it and I loved it. I've watched it. Romelo's great friend, great guy, very creative. I've watched it about half a dozen times. Scotty, it is hysterical.
That's awesome.
Hysterical. Now, comedy is a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
I had an audition with a gentleman who worked for Benny Hill.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that name.
Yep.
Okay, an old comedic genius, an English comedic genius. And this guy worked for him. And when I met him, he must have been 70 plus. And I said, this is great. I'm going to learn from a master.
Nice.
I've interviewed, dare I say, a few thousand times. Whatever the numbers are, I don't track them. I walked out of that audition with my tail between my legs.
Wow.
I had a 5-second pity party. Oh my gosh, what am I doing here? I'm not worthy. It was hysterical because this guy's old school.
Right.
He put me through the ringer, and I'm trying to give him what he wants. I'm usually good. A director says blah, and I can interpret blah and give him back what he or she wants.
Right.
I couldn't give him what he wanted.
Ooh.
I could not give him what he wanted. So I literally walked out of there, my head down, my tail between my legs.
Yeah.
And they got in the car and I had my 5-second pity party. But Romello was so understanding.
Yeah.
He was so easy to work with. My fellow cast, fellow crew. It was so much fun. That should be coming out any day now.
Yeah.
Any day.
Awesome.
Now, I did a Western last year. I
Okay.
guess we're going on a year and a half. Kind of in the middle of COVID. I'm trying to, now life goes by PC pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Right. Or C, we're in COVID or post-COVID. So who knows?
Yeah.
It was kind of, I think it was PC. I think it was pre-COVID. So what's that, 2 years now?
Okay.
And I grew my hair out. I had, I've got these curls. So instead of going long, it went high. It looked like an 80s prom date. It was just high, but you pull it out, it was down to about here.
Right.
Okay. So I learned how to ride a horse.
Nice.
I learned how to handle a gun. And Killer Miller, we've won 40 film festivals.
Nice.
Now, it started in Eastern Europe. It started kind of Poland, Eastern Europe. We won all the way through Europe. It went to LA. It came out here. And I'm so proud of that work. I'm so proud of that work. I got 3 best actors from that piece. Awesome. And 40 different best films. So that's an amazing piece. Very, 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 very proud of that.
Awesome.
I've got a TV show out that's on YouTube. Daddy, We're Back. I'm Daddy.
Nice.
And what I love about Daddy, We're Back, Angela and Valencia, Irish twins, producers, writers, directors, actresses. I love them dearly. What enticed me, what really turned me on to their script was the way they wrote and how contemporary it really is. any issue going on today in a mixed family,
Mm-hmm.
they touched on. They discussed, they had going. So it was so much fun. And it's really the antithesis of my acting. Because if you look at my IMDb, I play a lot of bad guys.
Right.
Okay. A lot of broken characters because they're fun.
Right.
It's easier to play. It's easier. It's a lot more fun to play a broken character
Right.
than the lily white sheriff.
Right. Exactly.
Okay? It's a lot more fun to play a Dexter type role. Okay. Than something else. But I love it all. So this was the opposite of what I do. And I'm reading the scripts. I'm like, I don't know. And I came to a crossroads. I'm like, dude, you're an actor. Go act. Go act. Suck it up and go act.
Right.
And I'm really proud of the work. We're picked up by 2 networks. It's on YouTube right now. I think we have 5,000 views. Season 2 is already written, but we got to get that number up. And then there's Unlawful Duties.
Okay.
Unlawful Duties is on Amazon Prime. We have 1 million views.
Nice.
1 million views.
That's awesome.
That's a 1 with 6 other zeros, right? That's huge, dude. So back to the advice I'd give a young me or a new actor. Do it all. Do it all, because you never know what's going to hit. You never know when lightning's going to strike. So you've got to keep yourself engaged. You got to get out there, man, to see what's what. I rarely say no. Hasn't gotten me into trouble yet. I did say no to something recently, but it was really out there. But I'm just having a good run, man. I'm just really having a lot of fun.
It's awesome.
And doors are opening left, right, and center,
It's awesome. That sounds like a plan. And definitely let your manager know to send me those those films that you have coming out when they're out and everything, and I'll be more than happy to share them as well. I thank you so much tonight for joining me here on Slasher Scotty.
My pleasure, brother. Thanks for having me. If I can help anybody out, I'm all over social media. They can find me and Dennis Mallen. So thank you so much, sir. I appreciate your time tonight. Thanks for having me.
You have a good rest of your night.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.